Hey guys, I just wanted to briefly talk about this story that I read recently in a book, and it was talking about St. Patrick and the powerful movement that Celtic Christianity was in the 4th century. Actually, Celtic Christianity is basically what evangelized all of Europe at that time. It was a powerful move. I mean, when that came, it swept through Europe. And St. Patrick was very dedicated, and he ended up raising up, sort of a group of followers who followed in his footsteps. And I heard this really cool phrase in this story about how they would prepare for mission and how they would launch out. They used this tagline. They would say, "The Cell and the Coracle." And what the cell was, C-E-L-L, was their little cell where they would go and they would pray and they would fast and they would worship and they would eat the scroll or just live on the Bible, and they would just really put down deep roots in the Spirit. And then the coracle was this little a boat that they would fashion. And they would, they would weave reeds together, and then they would, paint the whole bottom of this thing with pitch. And I think they just put, some sort of a little, sail on the top. No oars. And then they would, after they had just spent time basting in the presence of God in the cell, 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, would get in a coracle, a little boat, and they would push themselves off from shore. And they would lift up their hands and they would pray, "Great wind of God, blow us wherever you will." And they would be blown out into the depths. And then wherever that coracle landed, they would get off and they would begin preaching the gospel. And it's that idea of the cell and the coracle. I really love that that double-edged sword, where we are really engaging God in the cell. We're going deep in the Word, going deep in prayer and fasting, going deep in community and really growing in the knowledge of God, in a genuine, growing to be a genuine disciple. And then the other side of that is really we cut every tie that holds us back. Jesus said, "You can't be my disciple by taking the plow and looking back." He said, "You have to take the plow and not look back. You have to go like this is all that you have." And I really want to encourage us, if you're really going to be effective in your life, if you're going to make a difference, if you're going to have a ministry that really changes lives, and if you're a Christian, you're a minister. You should be a disciple. You should be a missionary. If you're a Christian, beloved, you are engaged in active ministry. And if you're going to be effective in those realms that God's called you to, He's saved you for a purpose. What has He saved you for? And I think, bottom line, at the end of the day, you have to make this decision in your heart of hearts. Is He the Lord of all? Is Jesus Lord of me? Does He call the shots, or do I call the shots? Because really, you're limited to very little effectiveness if you're calling the shots. And there has to be this rallying cry in your own heart and in your community where you're planted. The cell and the coracle. We're going to go deep with God, and we're going to not be ashamed. We're going to abandon ourselves into the cause of Christ for the sake of the world. Thank you.